What's going on, everybody? Welcome to A Freelance Artist Journey, where you'll see me, Jeff Burns, draw something and hear me ramble on about my experiences, thoughts, struggles, and anything else that pops into my head. It should be mostly art related, but you never can tell. Now, I have been racking my brain trying to think of how I would start off this show. And, it dawned on me, I think the best type of show that I could do would be more of a true video blog where I show you myself painting and then just kind of shoot the breeze and talk about what I'm going through as I'm traversing this freelance artist journey. And so for the very first show, I thought it would be cool to play a pre-recorded audio of a friend interviewing me to test out his podcasting equipment. The painting that you'll see me doing in the background is my depiction of the wise men on their journey to find the Christ in Sketchbook Pro. It's a great program. You'll actually hear me talk about the program in the interview. This is a two-part interview, and I had to cut it up because it was about 30 minutes in its entirety. So I'll check back in at the end and give you some parting words. So enjoy.
Jeff, let's get started by you sharing with me your earliest memories of doing art. What age were you and what were you creating?
Yeah, when the first memory I have of doing something creative was, I believe I was maybe 4 or 5 at the time, and it was a bunch of squiggly lines that I did, and nothing out of the ordinary for a kid that age, but yeah, it was supposed to be a picture of my dad, or at least that's what I called it, which you couldn't really distinguish a body. But it was a bunch of squiggly lines and stuff.
Well, that's amazing that you remember those memories from that early on. Can you take us back to your first affirmation or the words of encouragement by somebody who saw your artwork? What they said, if there was something in particular that stood out that you can still remember now?
Yeah, actually it was that same creation, that same piece of art that I did as a 5-year-old. My dad came home from work and my mom encouraged me to show it to him. So I showed it to him. I was like, yeah, Dad, this is a picture of you, and he was really encouraging. He was like, wow, you did that. And I remember him taking it to work and getting it laminated so that, we could put it up on the refrigerator door. And so we saved it and held on to it for a little while. But, over the years, it, we moved a lot, so somewhere it fell through the cracks and it's gone. But yeah, I'll never forget that creation and the way they responded to it.
That's amazing. I have a similar story with me. It was Mickey Mouse and Goofy. My dad saw it and same thing, words of encouragement. He took it to work, put it underneath his glass counter at his business, and I was so encouraged when he would point it out to the customers. Look at what my son did. Isn't it amazing how the parents can foster that from such an early age?
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't look like what we intended it to look like.
Yeah.
I have here, my next question is, today's busy day-to-day life, how do you find time, inspiration, and anything else you need to start creating art? Because, we have work, family obligations, errands to run, the honey-do list. How do you find time to continue to create art with today's busy schedule that you have?
Yeah, Miguel, that's a really good question. And, art is something that I've only recently fully embraced. As a kid, even though I would draw and doodle over the years, it wasn't something that I really showed off. I kind of kept it to myself. And growing up and going to school and doing things, I never really knew what my talent was, or I never identified it as being an artist. And so I went through life struggling and with an identity crisis, not knowing who I was or what I was supposed to do. So not until later, much later on, did I fully embrace that, yes, I'm an artist. And once I've done that, or now that I've done that, it just comes naturally to me, the desire to do it. And so, I don't really need any inspiration other than to wake up in the morning. Once my eyes pop open, I'm ready to go. There's, it's still, there's some work involved in, you have to kind of get yourself up off the couch when you might be wanting to watch TV or something like that. But overall, I'm always ready to draw. I'm always ready to create something. It's kind of like, I look at it like playing golf. I don't need encouragement or inspiration to play. I'm just, if I have the time, if somebody wants to play, then I got the clubs. Let's go. Let's do it. And it's the same thing with art. I'm always ready to go. I look at myself as inspiration for others. I should be, as an artist, I should be inspiring others through my art to do stuff, not so much needing the inspiration myself.
So what I heard you say was there was a moment in your life where you finally fully gave yourself permission to see the day-to-day through an artist's eyes, where for the longest time you kind of pushed it to the side. But once you open that door to what really connects with you, what really resonates, which is art, inspiration just started flowing in day to day, all moments of the day.
Yep, that's it.
That's awesome. Can you go ahead and maybe share a quote, something that inspires you, something that you live by, something that maybe you've read on a bumper sticker or in a book somewhere that may or may not pertain to art, but something that just keeps you inspired on the day-to-day?
Yeah, well, as you know, I'm a Christian. I believe, a strong believer in Jesus Christ. And the Bible has tons of inspiration and proverbs and sayings. And so, I'd have to probably pull one of those. And the one that comes to mind most often is, I believe it's 2 Corinthians 5:7, which says, we walk by faith, not by sight. That's one that I kind of try to live by day to day, is not to get tripped over by the things that I see on a day-to-day basis, the challenges that may come, but to press forward based on my belief and my faith. So that's one that I try to live by. And there's so many. Maybe another one might be Nike's "Just Do It," because the world is full of obstacles and distractions, and we can procrastinate a lot. But with art, it's something that you just got to do. You can't talk about it. You can do all the research you want, but at the end of the day, you have to put the pencil to the pad, or get on your computer and fire up the program and start creating. So I'd say another one would be "Just Do It."
That's a good one. I think there's a reason why Nike held on to that.
Yeah,
it's very powerful, to the point.
Mm-hmm.
On that note of software, I wanted to ask you: is there some kind of software that you're using now, either for creating art or sharing art, that you'd like to share with the listener? Something that's kind of rejuvenated your inspiration for art and creating it and sharing it, something that you found powerful, effective, or just fun and new, something that you'd love to share?
Yeah, sure. There are a couple of pieces of software that I gravitate towards. Photoshop is like kind of king in the realm of digital painting and photo manipulation and that kind of thing. Yeah, but a lot of artists have complained that over the years, Adobe has gone to the subscription model, which and it's cloud based, so there's no software that you actually own. Everything's pulled off the cloud, and it's not cheap. So over the years, I've tried to look for alternatives. I have Photoshop and I use it, but my version is an older version, and they have so many new bells and whistles with it. It's kind of hard to keep up with. But I know I stumbled across a program called GIMP, GIMP, and it is basically the free version of Photoshop. It is an open source program that a bunch of software developers just came together, or I wouldn't say developers, but individuals came together and they wrote this code and they created this program, and it does just about everything that Photoshop can do. So that's a program that I've been utilizing a lot lately. And along with that, there's another program that I just got introduced to. It's by Autodesk, and it's called Sketchbook Pro. And that program, I like it. I like it a lot because it's very simple, streamlined. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Photoshop or GIMP has, but it can do some key things very well. Like if you want to do a quick sketch and you want to ink it like you would a comic book in the traditional realm, but only on your computer, then you can do that very quickly. You can flip an image around. There's not a whole lot of load time or lag time. A lot of cool brushes with it. And it's only $20 for a year's worth of use, or a year's subscription. So, it's pretty cheap for what you get. So, between those two programs, I can pretty much do everything that I would do with Photoshop.
I'm going to go ahead and end the interview there, and we can pick it up next time. Of course, this was recorded a while back. Some of the information is dated. Like, for instance, Sketchbook Pro has since become totally free. It is so weird and surreal and embarrassing listening to yourself, whether it be in a recording like this, or if you happen to catch your voice on someone else's answering machine. I keep thinking, do I really sound like that? And why do I keep saying, As you may have picked up, public speaking is not my strong suit. But as often as is the case, life has this way of pushing us outside of our comfort zones. The key is knowing when to push back and when to lean in. Just some food for thought. Bye for now.